Kuzangpo, and a very warm welcome to the monthly BBS Dialogue. And today we are here at the Royal Institute of Tourism and Hospitality here at Mutatang. And today we'll be talking about the National Tourism Conference, which was held yesterday. And today, the theme for the conference is taking tourism to the top. And to talk about this, I'm joined by. I'll start my introduction from the right. I'm joined by Kezang Doji, the advisory board member of Hotel and Restaurant Association of Bhutan. And then Garab Doji, the chairman of Guide Association of Bhutan, Doji Rajul, the director general of Tourism Council of Bhutan, and then I have Rinzin Wantawanshu, the chairperson of Association of Bhutanese Tour Operators, and Pemocharan Tenzin, the proprietor of Young Magazine. Welcome to the show. And to the viewers, we also have audience here. We have tour operators, tour guides, and the officials from Tourism Council of Bhutan. Now to start with, first of all, to the DG. Now we talked about the aims and objectives of the conference during the Zonka segment, so we'll directly jump to the outcome of the conference. If you could share us about the outcome.
As far as outcomes is concerned, I think we had a very good outcomes. Mainly we have been able to come together and get to know each other much better. I think that is one of the biggest outcome, because in the past, I think so far that was not really, that was something which was lacking. And the second is, though we have heard in bits and pieces the challenges and issues that is presently in the industry, but with this conference, I think we have been really able to come to a consensus. So we feel, there was a good outcome.
Thus, what was the main target of this conference? Did you all have a concrete target to achieve?
Yes.
Some? Yeah, if you could
so the two that I have just said, the outcome, those were the objectives.
Thus, because we have seen in news that now the tourism sector is aiming to be the #1 revenue generator for the country. So how did the discussions come about?
In fact, the 2 days, the whole discussion, whole programs were all geared towards this theme. So, but the details, the specifics, this will, I think, is not yet decided. But now we have the elements. It's just to put together. So, and in fact, I think the main vehicle that will take us to this top will be the flagship program, which is yet to be approved, and we are yet to be present this to the government. So, once that flagship program is on, then I think our car to take us to the top will start moving.
Sir Kezang Doji, now when it comes to hotel and restaurants, what were some of the issues that you all tabled for discussion?
First, let me say the Kuzangpo to the viewers, and also thank you to the National Director General and for inviting the Hotel Association into this conference. And we wish Tasho in his endeavor to take the tourism to the top session. Okay, now coming back to your question, there are so many issues. I think 2 days was not enough. So, but just to mention a small, just 2 years before, we had taken one status. It was showing about 10 billion investment. Now, of just recent, the figure showed is about 15 billion investment into hotel industry. Now, if we cannot utilize the investment that we have made, it is a loss to individual definitely, but it is a loss to the national revenue. Because indirectly or directly, whatever we have invested in the country, it's a revenue generating machines or industries for the country. So definitely we have lots of issues. But at this time we are facing some seasonality issues. Whereby, and even in the peak seasons now, it is that we have rooms available. So that means actually we are not having enough tourists into the country. As of the recent data, this figure, data, we have just dollar-paying tourists about 65,000 visiting country, and regional tourists about 150,000, which is really too less for a country's tourism economic. Now, of course, there have been lots of issues that saying that we have it's because of more hotels, so that's why you get less occupancy. But I would say a little different way. More hotel is what should I say, economic prosperity of the country. means more hotels, more employment generation, definitely. So it's a good sign, not bad sign. But maybe there is some glitches in the policy that we need to look at. Because why we are not able to? Because hotels were built because there was a lot of demand that from the tourist handlers, I mean say the tour operators, that they were not getting enough rooms, you know, during the peak season or whatnot. With that notion, many people started building up, and government in fact encouraged to build hotels by giving lots of incentives. So now today we have come to a point, now we are saying it's not now that we have enough rooms but not enough flight seats. So now I think government has to take certain decision to solve, I mean, you know, there was a room issue, it is more or less solved now. We have 3 million star rated rooms available in a year. For that we are just having about 150,000 guests, you know, for that, and it's too less. At this time we need minimum 500 to 600,000 tourists just to get proper occupancy. And just to add on it, we have another set of hotels which at this time we are called, some call it standard hotels or some call it budget hotels. This is not included in the TCV's data. So if you consider that, hotel industry is really, I think, not doing good. I mean, they are really, it's really, I mean, kind of a desperate situation. I mean, looking for guests. So this is the situation. So
how is TCV looking into this issue?
One, as I think I agree with Kezan, that the now rooms are there. So the other, I think it was discussed in the conference also. One immediate measure could be to improve the flights or the accessibility, the inbound facility. So that means maybe we need to add another airline, or maybe we need to start building another international airport. So this could really help the present situation. But of course, having said this, it may not be able to address immediately. So it might take 1 or 2 years.
Since we have audience here, so I would like to open the floor to the audience now. If you all have any suggestions, questions.
Hello, my name is String Denker and I'm a local travel blogger. I run a blog named Denker's Getaway, and my travel blog is, I mainly focus on local traveling. All this time we have been talking for past 2 days at National Tourism Conference about inviting or improving more numbers of tourists visiting in our country. I genuinely feel that we are forgetting Bhutanese local travelers. I mean, why can't we local travelers travel? Why can't tour operators come up with packages that could promote destination for local travelers? Traveling doesn't only include tourists coming in country. It could also be local travelers traveling within our country. For instance, just a basic example, on BBS or on social media, we see tour operators promoting pilgrimage packages abroad. Well, when we market our country abroad, when we brand Bhutan, we say, oh, Bhutan is the Buddhist nation. But then when we see our tour operator promotes Bhutan outside. So instead, I feel like maybe we should build our own package. We have so many pilgrimage sites in Bhutan. Maybe we should come up with packages where Bhutanese travelers can travel within Bhutan. And I feel this will empower not only Bhutanese stakeholders. I see lots of potential in Bhutanese local travelers besides international travelers and regional travelers. Thank you.
Does any of the panelists want to talk about this? Did you all give a thought about this?
Yes, in fact, in our plan, we already have taken care of this. In fact, one of the products we have seriously discussed, I think Mr. Koji-san, he was here before. He is working with us. In Japan, they have a tour product called, if you translate into our language, it will be Bhutan Nekor. Duk Nekor is a pilgrimage meva. So this is something that we are seriously going to develop, especially for our Bhutanese tourists, domestic. So in other words, I think just to keep it brief, yes, we are definitely going to take advantage of this.
Last, now you as one of the promoters through your magazine, do you think our tour operators are using social media or mainstream media enough to promote tourism?
Actually, I fall somewhere in the middle because I represent both traditional media and new media. A lot of work with tourism that we do have all been reflected on social media. We've done a lot of travel videos and travel content generation for tour operators as well. I would like to share a short story. I think it was just a few years ago, we were doing a familiarization trip to Gante, and I met with around 6 to 7 tour operators. None of them had social media pages, and I found that quite strange because you're a tour operator and you're supposed to reach a global audience, and if you don't understand the power of social media, whether it's as simple as opening a Facebook page, then the kind of stories content that you can put out will never be seen by anyone. So on the social media front, I'll get back to traditional media, magazines, but on the social media front, I think it's something that a lot of people are quite perplexed about. A lot of organizations, tour operators, even travel organizations, they're not really comfortable getting into that space because it's a little new right now, and especially for a lot of businesses here. But this is the new digitalized space that can reach a wider audience. Traditional media can be a little limiting, although it has its advantages. But with social media, whether it's the kind of travel videos that we do, or whether it's travel vlogging like Denker's Getaway, or whether it's a distant single blogger who's writing his own version of his experience or her experience traveling to a distant destination in Bhutan, it has the potential and power to reach a global audience, and that's the kind of promotion that we need. I've always felt that we don't have enough content coming out of Bhutan. There are a lot of people who come to Bhutan and write his and her impression of what Shangri-La is, but I think Bhutanese have the potential to really share our true stories of what the people here are like, what our culture is, what our identity is, and if we are able to communicate that to the international market, or even to our own Bhutanese travelers, like how Denka mentioned, that is one of the big ways we can really take tourism to the top.
That's apt if you want to talk about it.
On which question?
About tour operators taking advantage of social media now.
Yes, I would agree that some are using it, the social media, and then most of them depend on the overseas agents to send the clients here. So they are not really concerned about this marketing in the new digital age. But definitely the younger tour operators, they seem to get onto it, and there is a need, and it would be not wise not to use it anymore. So we have to get into it. It's just a question of starting it.
Amen.
Thank you.
Again,
just one short thing. I think right now one of the biggest issues is in terms of designing content. A lot of travel agencies, tour operators that we spoke to, they don't have much idea when it comes to content marketing. Okay, I've opened a Facebook page, I have an Instagram account, but what do I put out there? I'm not going to put pictures of taksang every single time. So when it comes to designing that content, media has the professionalism and the resources to help with that kind of capacity building.
Okay, Lasla now. I would like,
we're talking about taking tourism to the top, and I feel that as I mentioned about seasonality impacting the hotels, of course it's impacting the industry as a whole. My question is to the chairman of Association of Bhutanese Tour Operators. When do you feel this? Bhutan has high season rate and low season rate. So winter and summer 200, and spring and autumn 250. So when you go and market, because it plays in people's mind that if it's cheaper, it may not be good to go. So do you think that we should relook at this? I know that in the past we have changed this. There was a different rate for trekking because we wanted to promote trekking, and there was higher rate for culture because there are many people coming for culture. So in your experience in tour operations and in consultation with your members, do you feel that maybe Bhutan should only have one rate where people think it's good to go any time of the year, so that we address the issue of seasonality, so that we address the issue of seasonal employment? So this is to you, sir. Thank you.
Traditionally, the rates have been set like that, But in terms of season, we all know that even winter is very nice to visit here. And of course the monsoon is there. So it's a very difficult question to answer whether we should have one rate. But I think it's more issue when the hotel mentioned about his seasonality and the excessive rooms that he has is to do with demand and supply. So when they create too much demand, then you start worrying about the supply. So I guess it's to do with data, not enough research done before the hotels have rooms were built. So it could be in that lines at the moment.
Any other questions left?
Excuse me,
Yes.
may I answer that? We had actually discussed on this seasonality for a long time. I think the myth was created long time back. I think maybe in early 70s or in early 80s. You know that a lot of the tourists, a lot of the people, when they talk, about off season, they feel that it is winter is going to be terribly cold because we are in Himalayas. It'll snow maybe 1 to 2 meters, and then in summer it'll rain like Chirapunji, where it's as if the floodgates have been opened and it's flooding everywhere. So that kind of a myth is created. People feel that it's hopeless to come. It's a waste of money to come during off season. And we actually around 4 or 5 years ago we coined new terminology. We said it's going to be now henceforth season and peak season. Somehow or the other it was not used. And then in fact and I tell my friends who wants to visit Bhutan that if they really want to come, I said December, January is more beautiful, better than March and April.
We'll take some more questions.
I wanted to ask this again, I think, to the DG, the Director General. I think we are still in what I would call Bhutan Tourism 1.0, and I think it's timely that we have this conference, and I can see that we are moving to perhaps Bhutan Tourism 2.0. In that regard, I see, again, going back to my question in the Dzongkha session, I was, I think, not able to elaborate, but I still see the big issue is the institutional linkages between the different associations, and I think it is more of the regulatory and institutional, the legal aspect of the environment that is not there. I still feel there's a strong need for a legal instrument. Of course, you will have to have full enforcement capacity to do that, and to bring associations, 3 associations representing just one sector is, I think it's too much actually. And the kind of tension you can see between the associations is largely based on, I mean, if you go to the court of law, I mean, if there is no legal instrument, I don't think you will get anywhere. So I strongly feel that need now. That's the first part. The other one is with regard to the hotel industry facing difficulties with the seasonality. And I was discussing earlier that the chances from the experiential, the local tourism aspect of it, if it could be packaged, that 3 million rooms could perhaps be utilized to some extent, at least 25% of it. Besides the outside tourists, the local tourists could utilize that. And an employment aspect to that would also be looking out to hotels outside or associations outside to look at seasonality, where, say, for instance, in Australia, it's summer when we have winter here, where we have probably less tourists coming in peak winter, but then tourist season down somewhere in the southern hemisphere. So I think some of those perhaps might work, but it's more political, bilateral than anything. I think probably which might take time. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Kezam. On the need for these regulations, acts, and thing, I think in the Dzongkha section, actually, I was not disagreeing. Basically, what I was saying is that it may not be so urgent. At this point in time, the urgent is the cooperation, the collaboration, the coordination that we need, and for which I don't think we really need these acts and laws. So, but ideally, maybe in due course of time, I think once we put that in place, I think then it will be useful. Because the example why I cited is Waste Management Act, because I am very passionate about cleaning up our country. And Waste Management Act, it was there since last 10 years, I think. But somehow, simply by having an act in place, didn't make any much impact. So because of that, actually, I was saying that. But I'm not disagreeing. Definitely, we, if possible, we need.
Yes.
To add something on the sarcasm, I think. Like you said, it's right. So we do not have a law or act somewhere that we can actually go to the legally, because it's been made a kind of a rule, or I don't know, should I say it's a temporary policy? I don't know, that tourists has to come through a tour operator, and they will, put the guests into the hotel. So what I'm saying is actually we are not tour operators. We are hoteliers. But hoteliers doesn't mean only just service to the guests. We also have a, hotel can directly also, sell to the client. Normally it's everywhere. So just because of this, like you said, it's true. Even for the bill settlement, it's very complicated. When we ask to the tour operators for the bill payment, they say the payment is not released from the TCV. So, it's a kind of a complex cricket there. So what we are saying is like, there have been many even the tour operators saying that why the hotel has not opening their license, have a license, and we can do that. But do you really want to do that? Because, to be honest, the advantage might go to the hoteliers, because the other agents from abroad might prefer hoteliers who already has establishment, and tour, then he can easily connect. But what we are saying is we do not want to get into their business. So let the tour operators do their business, but hotelier, somewhere they should free us. For example, this seasonality issue we can address to certain extent. For example, now with the regional tourist, all the hotels have regional tourists brought in by the hotelier themselves as well as the tour operators. So now that's definitely the data also shows. So same this way, if the same opportunity is given with the dollar-paying tourists, I think data will change. This is our hope that the agencies, the concerned agencies will look into this, because we see there is somewhere the rules, or should I say policy glitches. So, because Bhutan, actually, honestly saying, brand Bhutan has gained a long mileage. Bhutan is known because of our royal family, the kings, they're very popular now. And then the GNH, and we are actually popular. Still, we are not having tourists. Why? We should ask ourselves. I think.
Yes.
I think this will send lots of message actually.
Last, we'll take some more questions. Then okay.
Another short bit on the hotel occupancy issue. I think when it comes to hotel occupancy and whatever problems Mr. Kezang shared, domestic tourism can really help. When we did our Manas Getaway travel video, we got a lot of inquiries from local Bhutanese, and I think that's because people don't know that we have services like this, and people were quite surprised that, oh, there are destinations like this within Bhutan. There's so much obsession about going to Bangkok and India and elsewhere, but we don't know much about what our own country offers. So if we need that growing domestic tourism demand, the attitude from the hotels need to change. There is this discrimination between local travelers and Chilip travelers. So if hotels keep that in mind, and then understand that we need to respect local travelers, because I think we're really underestimating the spending potential Bhutanese have. We're spending so much money outside. So what's the point if the money that's generated here is going out, and if hotels and the tourism agencies don't pay attention to that? So for local tourism to flourish, the attitude needs to change.
Last, Abdullah, did you all ever think about this now? Local tourism promoting?
It's again coming back to the occupancy. In my opinion, we have the dollar paying, which stay in a minimum of 3 star, and they also stay in very high-end hotels, and also 5 stars. Then we have what we call regional. They also stay in high end and also in the 3-star along with the tourist. And then there is another category which is titled as budget. So my thinking is that the issue is along the budget hotels. And again, like I mentioned that time, because of the demand and supply, and then the availability of loans in the last 5 years, and the entire expressway has been filled with hotels. So we have created a lot of hotel rooms, and now we are confused in which rooms are not being sold. Of course, we need to consider that the promotion of a country is done by the TCB, since they are the government body that is doing it. And the hotels also have a responsibility. If you market your own hotel, and then by default the airlines seems to promote the country, because the national flag carrier, wherever they go, they land up promoting the country. So with the theme of tourism to the top, I think the issue that hotels are mentioning should come to some point. At some point we should resolve it.
Now I'll take one last question from the audience.
My question is for HRAB. Apart from the issue of seasonal spread, we also have the issue of regional spread. And a major issue we face in the East especially is the lack of proper infrastructure and facilities. And now, since there were a lot of proposals given for to counter the issue of regional spread, like adding an international airport in the East and and others, I just want to ask if HRAB has plans to initiate any proposals to the government as well as other sectors to incentivize, to provide incentives to people to actually encourage them to build facilities in the East as well as the South. Personally, I, as an architect working for the Tourism Council of Bhutan, I receive a lot of hotel drawings, and which are mostly focused in the West. So, if you could please.
Thank you. Firstly, let me actually thank Denka also. I forgot the time. I wish people like you are there many in Bhutan now. Actually, really, we are looking. Yes, no. Now it's a thing, something that I'll pass on to my friends. It's something to good, And in fact, thank you so much for bringing up this. I was looking for the time because it's a limited time, so I could not bring it. Yes, the hotel is, the far flung, especially from away from the, Punakha, they are really suffering. Everybody knew it, because from the road condition, everything, it's really, they are having a terrible time.
So we just have 2 minutes, so if we could just go to the point.
So, and then now immediate, I would request to the government or the concerned agencies, there are certain immediate remedies they can take. For example, when they issue permit, why would they have to issue 2 permits, to Thimphu, Paro, and then different one to Punakha and Wangdi? I think this could have done in one single permit. So they can, tourists can, this is one way of spreading. Number 2 is to increase the occupancy. If the immigration department could, give the permits on Saturday and Sunday, which is closed at the moment. So this too can help, immediate effect it will have. This is actually our request to the, TCB could do something in this. So yes, the regional issue, and since we are a CSO, not a government thing, incentivizing is very difficult. It's totally with the government, policy and the government needs. But for the hotel association, yes, we actually thinking to have some more offices so that we could actually gun around and then see what we can see into the issues and bring it to the government. So
thank you so much. There are so many issues to be discussed, but then we are out of time, so we'll have to cut on the discussion. Thank you to all the panelists and thank you to all the audience, and we look forward for taking tourism to top. Thank you so much for your time.